This is John Costa from the Parallel Lives Network and the Documentary Media Centre, and I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today for our third session about the period poverty project that we were speaking about on our Train the Trainer programme. It's actually day 13 of a programme that we participate in globally, a hashtag called 16 Days of Activism. It started originally around the girl child and sexual violence, honour-based violence and stuff. And what I've done is I've developed it so that during those 16 days, every day on the Parallel Lives Network, and again, I'll share with Umata a link to the Parallel Lives Network in case you've not had an opportunity to look yet. You'll find a blog post every day that's around a different form of activism from people across the majority world, the global south, that are part of the network. So I've spoken to people that support a school in Haiti, so in the Caribbean, Latin America. Today I'm also blog posting because it's a documentary film activism about a doc hub that I've got in Lagos in West Africa. So we've got a doc hub West Africa project where we support documentary filmmakers, right through to a person that's sort of doing environmental activism in Delhi, in India, about pollution, right through to Southeast Asia and China as well. Okay, so what I wanted to catch up with everybody today is just to let you know some progress that we've made here at the Parallel Lives Network regarding period poverty and things that we'd like to share with you, some resources and potential idea for some collaboration going forward as well. And hopefully you've all got your certificates. And again, if you need any of those amended, please share those with Miss Umata so she can send them back to me and I can send you an updated certificate. One of the main things that we wanted to tell you about is a new relationship we've built with a new organisation called Freedom for Girls. And the person that's our link person here is a lady called Charlotte. And they support a school specifically in Kenya. And we were talking about the work that Nicole, you and I have been doing with you, and a school session that Nicole, you and I had done as well. And we started talking about how, the provision of things like patterns for different pad sizes to be made, what kind of materials, maybe some access to some finance in order to be able to send. So, hand operated sewing machines could be purchased by the school. So there's period products being made within the school, but then there's a sort of an enterprising part to that as well, which could include not only the young people, but maybe parents locally as well. So again, sometimes these conversations start at the beginning and then other things come from it, which I think is really important. So what I've been speaking to Charlotte about is how can we share the materials that they have from the school in Kenya and how that project's been operating? Is there any learning, any kind of research or any kind of feedback that she can share with us that we can provide to you, Umata, to share across your network as well, that could be beneficial, for example? So everybody will be in a different situation. Some people will be working with some, very vulnerable young women. Other people will be working with mixed groups, men and boys, and other people will be, having access to maybe parents, but some will have access to schools. So if schools are a particular area of interest to you, please reach out to us via Umata so we can make sure that we get you this information and we can start sharing about some of the things that we could do in relation to the school. Also, we had a conversation yesterday. Nicole colleague Philomena and I had a conversation with we did some training for 4 CBOs, NGOs there in Nigeria. And could I ask you to put yourselves on mute, please, if you're not talking, just so we don't get any background noise. Thank you. And so Philomena and I spoke to the executive director of an organisation called CIAN yesterday, who was one of the 4 organisations that we'd done some training for. And he was telling us that the training that he's for, himself and 3 of his workers had done, had allowed them to build some very kind of different relationships, expand their relationships with other organisations, both locally, but also across borders, you're across your states that you have there in Nigeria, even conversations up to national level, which was quite interesting, and that they've been able to engage with 1,700 young women specifically around period poverty. And he was particularly proud that he'd been able to engage a group of boys as well in the project, and that they were doing some fundraising and stuff where the boys were actually raising the money to donate projects to the girls that were involved in the project as well. And it kind of really made us think about, Philomena and I yesterday, think about how we can help move the project forward as the Parallel Lives Network in partnership with all of you when it comes to, are there any resources that we could maybe identify that would benefit us with boys specifically, or is it something that the 4 tasks that we've already got, that we've already shared through sort of the workshops, are they already good enough for us to be able to expand on? Because what I'm very wary of doing, is creating lots of resources here that we share with you that aren't useful or they're not relevant, whereas in fact what we need to be doing is making sure that we can support you to create the resources that are coming from conversations that you're having. And I think that's really where I'd like to get to today with this recording, is give you that brief update there, but then maybe go around, and if anyone wants to talk specifically about anything that they've done so far workshop wise with boys only or boys and girls, whatever, or men and women within community settings or maybe religious settings, and then also get some feedback about what could be beneficial moving forward. So almost like a capturing on this recording a wish list, if you like, which is, we'd really like to see this. If we could do this, this would be great. If you were able to provide some finance for us to be able to access a hand operated sewing machine, that would be useful, because we've got one specific project here that we could definitely do something with. So really it's an opportunity for everybody to, give a personal update on where they're at or conversations that they've been having. And if there's anything specific that we can do regarding a wish list, then that's something that we can work on towards as we identify partners that could do things with you. So hopefully that's been helpful and interesting. So Umata, is would you like to go first or make any specific comments in response to that?
Okay, let me go first. Thank you so much, John. From this end, sometimes in I think that was August. Oh.
There we go. I can hear you again now. Yep.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yep, that's good.
Cannot find my video. Okay.
Makoye, would you like to just pick up while we're waiting for Umata to join again and make some comment? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Okay, before she comes back on, I want to say that most of the people involved are not novice in this, so they went out and started 1 or 2 projects, like Somata herself, and Margaret too is a ground handler, if I must call her that. And so on the review, I've not spoken with her lately about others that must have had the project and who came together like not like personally on their own project. So far I think there have been some good moves on ground. Somata?
Hello,
you can
John.
carry on now. I see you are back.
Is it network?
Yes. Matthew, you can continue.
Okay, I think Joe is saying something. She got okay. Thank you, everyone. So what I was saying was that sometimes about July or August, early August, we had a program that involved some young boys. Initially, there were about 3 young boys, and by the second day, we had 6 of them. And on that second day, we presented the period poverty. It was a very funny, funny session, funny presentation, because it's the first time really that boys will have to be engaging with girls on the subject matter. In fact, one of them, which we are yet to get over, is it Kenneth or what's that his name? It was really cool. But then we got their commitment to help us. These are teenagers. The boy is about 13 or 14.
That's a good age then, yeah, good age.
Yes, yeah. 13 or 14. It was initially a rude shock for them, and their reaction was equally a rude shock to us. But at the end of the day, they're comfortable with the subject matter, and we got their commitment to also be ambassadors, of period poverty. So we have 3 young boys who are in the team now. Beyond that, we haven't done any other. We were hoping that in the new year, we would begin to go from schools to schools, especially the secondary schools, what you would call the basic schools. So we were to start the campaign from schools. Sometimes around April, we had gone to schools, but that was to give out sanitary materials. But then we'll be going back now with a new subject matter, of course, which is the period poverty and the reusable, the bio and the reusable sanitary towel. So yes, we would do well to learn what Kenya is doing in terms of the school campaign. We'll really want to know what they're doing, so we'll appreciate the materials. And then we would also appreciate the sanitary, the reusable one. I haven't seen one. I've looked for, but I'm yet to see, so that while the campaign is going on, because we've been able to talk to our peers. I turned 50 in October, and I still need some. I'm still seeing my period. So women of our age grade and even the younger ones, they are very disposed to making the switch, but we are not able to assess the reusable ones yet. So we would like maybe to see a sample and then how to make it ourselves. If we can't get a sample, then how to make it. If we know how to make it, we will begin to make, and we can also engage other ladies in the club, to begin to make. And we can also teach women how to make. I don't think it's a difficult thing. So 2 things. Yes, we would want to know what Kenya is doing with schools, because we want to begin with the schools come January. And then we also want samples of the reusable sanitary towel.
Okay, so what we'll do.
That's it.
Brilliant. So what we'll do is we'll gather some samples together, and we'll get them to you through the post or courier or someone that's flying back to visit. We'll make sure that we get some samples, physical samples to you, or if we can find somewhere that's already got those samples that's within Nigeria, to see if we can get those to you as well. And then I'll get the various patterns and stuff that Freedom for Girls have said that they're using, and any information from their school project in Kenya, and make sure that I share that with you for sharing with the group as well.
Okay. That'll be Okay.
No problem. That's brilliant. So Nkoyo, did you want to come back in at that particular moment, or should we go round? Should we go round the group? What do you think?
I think we should go around.
I think we should go around the group
Okay.
as
Yes.
we are working within an hour.
Okay. Cool. So who would like to go next? Umata, do you want to pick, or shall I pick from the
I think you should pick.
selection of names that I've got? Well, listen, Rakia, you're on your camera, looking resplendent in your white top. So maybe you should go next.
All right, thank you, Mr. Period poverty to a lot of people, but since we have a secondary school within the campus, we've tried to talk to some, but they are finding it very difficult that they don't think they can easily switch. The problem I'm having now is that we don't have a sample that we can show them.
Okay. Yeah.
So that now decide if they can use reusable sanitary towel or not. But we appreciate if we can have a sample, even if it's just maybe physical sample to show to them. It will. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, again, another thing they're saying about having a physical sample. So that's going to be one of the key things that we need to achieve then in early 2024 is to make sure that we can get these to you somehow, and I'll coordinate with Nkoyo on that matter to make sure, like I said, we can either source locally to get to you, or we can send out to you. Okay, that's great. Thank you, Rakia. Thank you. Again, looking very resplendent in your white robes there. Fantastic. You brought a certain empirical kind of, like an emperor of Rome sitting there. Like, that's brilliant. Marvelous. Here you go. Okay, so next, who have we got next here? So I've got Tonya. Again, don't feel as if you have to speak. Only if you've there's something any specific you'd like to update us on. So yeah.
Hello, John.
Hi, Tonya. You okay?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to turn on my video. Okay.
Marvelous. There we go.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So sorry, I came a bit late. I was driving
No
down
problem.
from my daughter's school. Well, for me, I think it's still the same thing because we actually had the 2-day, 3-day program, like Umata told you, and it was quite interesting. And we have a lot we want to do in the coming year, especially with the schools. Advocacy already is going on. We are speaking to a lot of children, and people like Chiamaka, who is not here because she's writing her exam, and also Isabel. They've spoken to their peers and their friends in college, and they're all excited. People are tired of this sanitary pad we use down here because of, if you can remember, we told you about how the myth on, oh, you throw your sanitary towel, somebody might just pick it and do some voodoo or juju on it for you.
Yes, I remember you saying that in the training. Yes, I remember that.
Exactly. So they are all looking forward to it. So basically, all we need are samples, and we can't wait to have those samples and also learn how to make ours and just hit the road. I believe that once we have it at hand and we are able to show and give some to people, even if it's one for someone to compare with what they will use in the week as they are on their period, there'll be a change of mindset. It's all about advocacy, and it's all about seeing, using, and believing. So basically, that's what it is.
Brilliant. I mean, you mentioned the two young ladies there that were speaking to their peer group and stuff.
Yes,
I mean,
they are also here.
yeah.
They are part of the club.
Oh, okay, yes, okay. Well, it'll be interesting to hear from them as well then about that, because I think it's just really important that that as Mata was saying there about the young boys, being ambassadorial role amongst their peers. They're also people will sort of say, well, I don't want to talk to you about it, but go and speak to them. They're happy to talk to you about that subject, even if people know that they send people over to you to ask that question rather than you want to talk about it yourself. I think that's it. That's good. So that's great. Yeah. Thank you very much, Tonya. Appreciate that.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Okay, so who have we got here? We've got Nina. Is Nina, are you there? Are you happy to speak? And if not, I'll keep I'm going down a list that I've got here. So maybe we'll move on to Grace. Grace, are you there?
Grace.
Yes, I'm here.
Here we go. Hi, Grace.
Yes, good afternoon. Let me get a place that is less noisy. Okay. I can turn on my. Okay.
There we go. There we go. Hello, Grace.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So, have you got any had any specific feedback from anyone that you've been speaking to regarding the period poverty, or anyone's kind of questioning you, or for yourself, is it exactly the same as other people, which is having a sample would make it easier for you to be able to do that?
Okay. I've not spoken with anybody apart from those we did the training together, and I've had course because I had one. Just I don't know if I showed the type I had last time. I can't remember if I did, but I can get it now. I had
Yes, you
the
did.
type. Okay, I showed it, right? Okay, so well, the challenge with it is this since it's reusable, so you have to wash. So this issue of washing blood. So it's I don't know, mixed feelings. I've tried it before, but I had to stop because I know it's much more healthier, especially these days with this. I don't know, in our climate here, we have a number of people, young people also are not yet, ladies who are not yet married, coming, down with fibroid and things like that. I think, this, if you're not having a good sanitary, you buy different sanitary towels in the market, you don't know how good or what they were made out of. So I believe the cloth pad is better, and we just need to create more awareness and sensitization.
Again, it's just finding for particular groups, what the hook is going to be. I think you can come at whether it's health, whether it's finance, whether it's sort of embarrassment, whatever it is, access to products. I think there's no one size fits all. There's different ways of coming at it for each group, and that I think we were just very aware of that with the activities as well when we were kind of putting them together. And my colleague Tina Barton was putting them together. It was very much around, each of the activities needed to be kind of general enough for you to be able to feel like you own them, to have the conversation in the way that best fits the group, because your group much better. And so you can have a group of young people, 12, 14 here, young people, and the group that you speak to over there in Nigeria. It's exactly the same session. It's just the touch points that you focus on will be very much around here. For example, we use the term period poverty here, but we get no buy-in from people at all, because people just can't get their head around the fact that anybody would be able to not afford to buy period products, full stop, because they're everywhere. And so what we started to get was a lot of stuff where educational establishments and employers would provide those products for free, almost as a support mechanism in that organization or in the educational establishment. And then we've literally, I don't know if it reached you through your social media channels or through your mainstream media, but here we actually, at the last budget from our Chancellor a couple of weeks ago, we actually abolished period tax. Okay, so we had tax on period products, so pads and tampons and things like that. You no longer pay a sales tax. Okay, because again, what you've got is half of the population is female, is reproducing for a period of 10 to 55. And then you've got the cost of period products, and you were being taxed for them. Okay, so it's one of those things. It was a real big campaigning issue, and there was it was a very sort of quite a contentious campaign as well. Lots of people got involved in, and the success has been that the tax will be abolished on those products. So that's how we're coming at that conversation around what products people are using, whereas someone else, it's more about access to it, or it might be a sort of whether it's a religious or a particular community or a patriarchy, which is about, like Nepal, for example, where people are made to sleep outside in stone huts, where they're then being sexually assaulted or, murdered in many cases. So I think everybody needs to be kind of coming at the core point of the product, the core problem or issue is ultimately, that half the population of the world, if there's 8 billion people, over 4 billion of them will be, menstruating and child rearing age and stuff like that, is the fact that you're being penalised because you need these products and you're having to pay so much for them. So it's a really important thing. We need to keep those conversations going. So thank you very much, Grace. Appreciate that.
I also want to add that
Sure.
I think another angle at which we can look at it is if we go to these young girls between the ages of 11, 12, before they start menstruating, and then introduce it to them. And if they are starting with it, it becomes much easier, because I was trying to cast my mind back. Our mothers in those days, they used cloth. They didn't know any other, this modern sanitary towels you have now. So it was easier for them. I mean, they just went ahead with it. So if the girls are introduced early enough, and then we, like I said, create awareness, go around, and like you have just highlighted, maybe we have somebody who can bring up a bill on this. It becomes a national thing that everybody begins to take more seriously by the time they see the importance and then the safety that they can do for girls. So that was another idea I was just thinking about.
Yeah, I get, and that kind of raises the question, doesn't it, about who do we ally ourselves with? Who are allies in our fights? And having met Philomena and obviously Nkoyu, and we're just about in February to start talking to the third cohort of global health masters students at De Montfort University, is the fact that as global health professionals, your ability to access people's homes and talk to them about a whole range of issues is almost unprecedented, really, when you think about it from a trust perspective. So by being able to add in the fact that you are knowledgeable about menstruation and period products and stuff like that, because obviously you can talk about menstruation and period products from a point of view of domestic violence, sexual abuse, starting early, being sexually active, all of these things, they're all conversations that you're able to wrap around this kind of conversation. So we really need to think about who are our natural allies, and school teachers, I think, are one of those, simply because they're the ones that have access to the young people on a sort of day-to-day basis, if you like, in lots of different settings and community settings. So whether it's youth and community workers, whether it's global health professionals or teachers, we've got people that are influential and around young people on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's once you build that coalition of people that are sort of all talking about that subject, that's where those subjects rise to the top, and as you said, suddenly become a state or a national level conversation. And then particularly with things like in the UK here, sort of post-COVID, long COVID, the impact of long COVID. My partner is literally in the next couple of weeks going into hospital for a hysterectomy. But then it kind of, when you're going through those conversations, you start talking to other people, and then there's like 6 people that we know within our friendship circle that know people that are waiting for hysterectomies. And so people are starting to have conversations about long COVID, the impact on women's reproduction, particularly women of an age where you're starting to do the menopause. So suddenly we're finding that there's natural allies and conversations we're having from not the usual suspects, because suddenly it becomes more of a health issue, particularly around, physical health as well as mental health and well-being. So I think, it's quite an opportunity really to have conversations with not the usual suspects about these things, about how we can support this area. So thank you for that. That's great. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so
Can I say something?
yeah, go for it.
Okay, I wanted to say, considering what we just got through in the UK right now, the abolishment of the period product
tax.
Yeah. I think she just froze as she was about to say tax. Perfect timing. She was about to say the T word, and then she froze, unfortunately.
assembly through we how to go about it, which would be a good thing, and it would be like a good mark that they betted, the Esther's Champ Club betted this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nicole, we lost
I think
most of that. We kind of lost what you said just before you said tax. You kind of froze. So can you just say that again, or is she frozen again? I think she might have frozen again. Yeah. We'll give her give her 10 seconds to come back.
Can you hear me?
No, we can now. Yeah, sorry, we lost you for all of that. So yeah.
Okay.
If you could say that again, we lost everything that you said there, unfortunately. You said that you got to tax and then you froze.
Okay.
Oh, that's it, you see. You know what they say? You should never do a Zoom call with Nigeria because the UK end will never work.
To put in through the National Assembly on achieving the same thing in youth and internal affairs. Yeah, it can be done. It's just to send in a letter and have a 1 or 2 appointments, and it can be done. That would be a good mark for Esther's Champ Club.
I was also thinking of Ministry of Education and Ministry of Women Affairs.
The truth is this. That back down here, a lot of talk is on without actions. So if we're to begin anything, the most important stakeholders are the girls. The girls, because here I just sent some pictures to Nkoyo to try to share on the Zoom. I'm using my phone, not a laptop, so I'm unable to share. She's trying to display the pictures for you to see. When you go to the schools, even for people like me, the cost of the sanitary ware, it's huge. And so availability and affordability, it's a major problem. So people will be delighted to make this switch, even if not for the sake of a better health, but for the cost. People will be so delighted to switch. Right now, I'm using the inorganic ones, but I have to wash. So the issue of washing is very minute. It's not going to be so much of a hurdle to cross, because whether you're using the pad or whatever, we wash. So these days, what you do is that you're washing away the blood, and then you're trashing the sanitary towel in your bin, as it were, devoid of, because you don't want someone taking it for some sinister thing. So either way, we're washing. So if you're going to the schools, like the girls, the last time we went in some of these schools, we went with sanitary products to give them. We could not afford to give them more than one, which is just about 10 pieces, and they were happy. So nobody provides sanitary wares here, unlike where you are, where the schools provide, hospitals provide. Here, you have to provide for yourself. So people will be very happy knowing that they can produce this thing, with whatever fabric that they like, and they can have as many. We've got a lot of sunshine. It's just to sun it. So if we begin with the stakeholders, starting from the primary level, which are the users, the young girls, then the advocacy can get to maybe the Ministry of Health before we talk of the National Assembly. We cannot go straight to the legislators, you know, to begin to advocate. They are not going to do anything about it. I'm very sure of that it will just be another round of talk. So as much as we want it to be out there, I want the growth to be organic. I want us to have real stakeholders. I want us to have real people with real issues, you know, who are ready to brainstorm. So if we can start with the schools, start with the young girls, the young boys, and then already we source for money amongst ourselves, we do a little fundraise, we buy these things, and then we go to share. So, but when we get to the level of making it ourselves and then teaching the people how to make it, then I will say that we would have achieved a lot. And then we can now take the campaign to the wider house. We can, you know, go to government and we can go. So I'm very happy to hear that sanitary wares over there are now tax-free. Here, nobody cares how you even buy them. I think a piece of tenner is almost, is it not almost 1,000 naira, which is about £1 plus? So imagine the young girl who...
Where's the man now?
Is how much? It's over £1. It's over £1. So I would still say that we begin with the users, the young girls. We can start our campaign from there if we know how to make these things. So Nkoyo, if you can share the picture, share it. They were very delighted. So anything you give to a girl to help with her period, she will accept it. So, but she will accept the one that she's not going to have to buy on a monthly basis. And that is the cloth wear, the reusable one, the one that she can wash and sun. From the people I have spoken to so far, they are ready to make that switch.
I guess also there's an opportunity, isn't there, to do something almost like a campaign that we could support as well, maybe from different areas. I'm not saying we could definitely find some girls to do it in Nepal and stuff, but, you know, technology allowing, that might be something that we could do a UK, Nigeria, Kenya, Nepal project where each of the girls can produce like a campaign and then kind of share it. And I think, you know, that sharing of a campaign that would work where they were, when you go to people that have the ability to create policy and make decisions and stuff, it's the fact that it's not only is it grassroots and come from the bottom, as you said, with people, you know, coming up with the ideas themselves and thinking about what they want to do, but there's also that we've reached out and we're building relationships with other locations and other people and other young women that are experiencing these things. So it's the fact that it's not there's a problem, how do we solve it? It's about people are solving this problem, and some people are at different levels to other people. It's that shared knowledge. I think that for me is really where the Parallel Lives Network could support, because it's about giving examples of how things are working and how people have made some progress, because there's always that kind of crossover between some people are experiencing it in exactly the same way, but from this source rather than that source. So, you know, I think that'd be quite interesting. Yeah. Thanks, Sumata. That's great. So let's continue our journey round the board.
Hello,
here.
John.
Hello, who's this?
It's Tonia.
Tonia, go for it.
Yes, I'd like to say something. I'd like to add to what Umata has said. You know, talking about this campaign that we're starting from the grassroots, from Let It Be Organic. It makes sense because I used to work with UNICEF, and we had a program we called U Report, and I was the national coordinator for U Report, and U Report has to do with the youth in the country, and we carry out surveys whereby we ask questions and we wait for their responses to come. We can also use search, you know, by finding out from the people, because just like she said, we can't go directly to these stakeholders. Reason being that they'll want to see, when they start hearing that, oh, something has been happening, maybe their child comes back home to say, oh, this happened, then they now get to hear it. They equally want to be part of it. And it has to start definitely from the Ministry of Health, because once the Ministry of Health is able to buy into it, then the women affairs, then by the time we are working together, because the truth is we are in Nigeria, before you know, they want to out the Esther Club. So we need to get outsmart. Yes, we need to gain grounds and do it organically. If we have to carry out surveys, we have to print out, you know, what do you call little surveys whereby we ask for exactly, we ask information, we gather our results together, you know, then we are able to now check, oh, between this range and this range, this is exactly what it is. We'll be able to do it. All we need to just get it started. That is what will work. Oftentimes, when you want to go to the stakeholders, you have to be able to get support from the grassroots. Once you have support from the grassroots, your voice is stronger, then you can bridge the gap. Then when you're talking to someone, you're not just coming on your own, you're showing them proofs, you're showing them statistics, you're telling them this is how far we have gone. So nobody can take that project from you. It's your project. You understand it better and you are driving it. Then you'll be able to endorse it because they want to be part of it. I'm sure you understand what I mean. When World Health Organization is hearing about this, oh, they're like, okay, from the Ministry of Health, this is what is happening. Everybody wants to be part of it because the truth is, that is exactly where we are right now. Hygiene, personal hygiene. So if we continue this way and we're able to involve these people, the youth, carry out our surveys, get a strong hand on the girls and boys, bring them together, then when we have a strong force, we can go to these people and it's going to be easier.
Perfect. Sounds brilliant.
Okay.
There we go.
Can I share my screen now?
Yep.
Yes.
The pictures from, I can share it now.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sharing my screen. Share.
Something's happening. There we go.
You can see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. These are the pictures. Okay. Is it clear?
Yep.
Okay. This is the one that shows both, that means they're all inclusive with both boys and girls.
Yeah.
Yes, those two, you can see two of our ambassadors. That's Ken and Owen.
Okay, I can see they were having a nice time.
Yep.
Yeah, we have. Okay, here is with the organizers. I can see Pastor T, Wisdom Mata, and Grace Bolofide.
The schools.
Don't be holding yourself down.
Okay. This is also a different project. I don't know who owns this one.
This is Esther Tam. This is Benue State.
Okay.
How about the ones who were in the schools? You've not seen those?
I'm still going. This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Costa, I've not sent these ones to you.
Yeah, I've seen some. I have seen some of those, and then some of them I've not seen. So yeah, that's good.
Yes, but you haven't started the ones for the school. So we've begun the school advocacy already. We've been to some schools.
Amazing.
So the next time going, it will be a fantastic idea if we are giving them something in exchange for this. You know, it would be nice to give them something that they can have control over, something that they just need to wash, something that they just need about 10 pieces. If we're able to make 10 pieces for each girl, and they have, it's going to solve a whole lot of problems. So when we start with the girls, when we begin to collect data, we will engage them, and then we'll be able to know what they are using right now. Most parents are not able to afford the sanitary towels. So what are they using? Are they using paper? Are they using leaves? Do they have to stay indoors? So we're going to, have to collect such data, and then
Okay, for
present something.
Samantha, if I may come in here, I can see that she has covered like 3 schools.
Than 3 schools.
3 schools, right? And then
No, we've done more than 3 schools. Maybe I didn't send all the picture. Let me see. We've done even in Ibadan, Benue, the FCT. Where is the gallery?
This is called University Nights.
okay, what's the next step?
Okay, Koya, I sent you more pictures.
Okay.
Koya, have you seen more pictures?
Yes, downloading them now. I don't know what is. Okay, I've this. Okay, this is Irene in Ibadan.
Raleigh.
Raleigh, sorry, in Ibadan. Okay. Those are the ladies on the move. So Mata, Pastor Tonia, Grace Bolefide, traveling across Nigeria, which is nice.
It's a good photo.
Yeah, that's a good work.
Teamwork.
Yes, that's a good one.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing those, Umata. I'll get those from Nkoyu, if that's okay.
I'll forward them to you.
Yeah, thank you. Brilliant. I've got some of the first ones.
Let me stop sharing now.
Yeah, okay. That's great. Brilliant. I'm just very keen that everybody, before we finish the call, gets an opportunity to say something. So let's have a look. Who have we got down here that I've not ticked on my list? Hetty. Hi, Hetty. Anything you'd like to add to the conversation?
She
was on transit.
Yes.
Yeah, she was in the car, wasn't she? Yeah, no problem. Let's, who else have we got on here? Corriday. Corriday's been very patient. Obviously with a new baby in the background. she's probably busy with the baby now. So, okay, let's try. Esther has joined us. Looks like Esther's on the move as well. Esther, you in the car?
Good afternoon.
Hi, Esther.
Nice.
Hello. We've got passengers with us as well. Hello, passengers. Cool. Who else? Lisbeth, is it? Lisbeth as well?
Yeah, Lisbeth, Adora, Miriam.
Yeah, Miriam, Adora. If anybody wants to add anything, please do. I'm sure we're all in various stages of transit or busy with young people and stuff. That's fine. As long as everybody's happy with what's been said so far. Corriday's joined us now. So Corriday, would you like to add anything to what you've heard? If you unmute yourself, we'll be able to hear what you say.
I was also a part of the club that in August. I was supposed now I can speak to people about period poverty. Unlike before, I used to be shy, but I'm bold now. I can talk to people, and then I was also able to talk to some children in Sunday school in my church about it, and they are excited to know about it. So I believe with all this plan on ground, we have greater heights we have greater things to achieve. That's it.
Brilliant. And obviously, you know, from a lived experience thing, as a recent young mum, you know, this is, you know, your period doesn't arrive and then stay exactly the same throughout your life. You know, periods affect people in lots of different ways. You know, it can change when you're having children, just after you've had children, and then obviously the menopause and things like that. All of these changes that go, it affects everybody differently. And we had a report here, literally I was reading in preparation for today, I think it was 5 days ago on our mainstream media, and it was saying out of all of the money spent on medical research in the UK, considering that you guys are half the population, actually less than 2% of money in all medical research is spent on women's health issues relating to reproduction. And so what some of the cutting edge they're working on at the minute is actually measuring period blood. So, but rather than actually having to inspect a woman or, having sort of, medical examinations and stuff, all you would do is you would submit your period blood by post, and they'll be able to tell through doing tests on it and stuff, the likelihood of you for a whole range of female, gynecological issues, endometriosis, things like, menopause. And it's one of the things that I've learned about recently as well, doing a lot of it, is about flooding, you know what I mean? And there was one particular woman, she said that when she has her monthly period, the guy was, the researcher was saying it's the equivalent of giving blood for 3 months. So you would not be allowed to give this amount of blood over 3 months through the National Health Service, that she lost every time she had a period that she passed out. Her family knew, her husband and her children knew what to do, that when she flooded, she would pass out because she would lose so much blood. And so we've got this whole range of issues, all of which are affecting females. Yeah, there's no research being done on it. So I think it's one of those things that's going to be really important as we go forward to think about how we share this information, both with you and other people, because we need to be doing a lot more campaigning around it as well. So it's very important. So thank you for that. Cool. So that's great. Thank you very much. Who else have we got on here? So Faith has appeared in our camera. Hello, Faith. Liking the glasses, amazing. Would you like to speak to us and say hello? You're on mute at the moment, just so you know.
Sorry, where I am is very noisy. That's why I'm not speaking. It's very noisy.
Don't worry about that. Go for it. I'm sure you've got something to say.
No. I just joined now.
So I think Umata, has that been everybody that we've spoken to that wants to say anything?
Hello, good evening.
Who have we got?
Adora.
Hi, how are you? Okay.
Adora.
Hi, Adora. How are you?
I'm fine, thank God.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Hi, yeah. Okay, I spoke with my daughter who came back from college. So I was talking about period poverty with her. She has not heard about anything about that before. So
Okay.
I have to
And how old is she? How old is she?
She's 15.
Okay, so 15. Okay.
Yes, so she's now told me that in their school they are teaching them against using reusable pad.
Okay.
That is dangerous, is this one? And I told her, no, it's not dangerous, depending on how you take care of it. So she's very, very interested. She wants to see the reusable pad. So I think it's going to make sense. Was very, very interested. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess a bit like Umata was saying earlier, with the younger people acting as sort of, as a peer group, it's about then having that conversation with their friends, which is actually, using this, you can save money. Using this, actually, there's not any health issues. It's perfectly safe. It's everybody being able to have those kind of conversations, I think, isn't it? Which is really important. But that's good. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Adora. Is it Musu? Musu?
Yeah.
Yeah, did I pronounce that right? I was brave enough to have a go. That's the most important thing. Hello, hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
The network has been so bad. I just joined now.
You're here now, and that's the most important thing. Nice to see you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Martin.
Is there anything, Musu, you'd like to add?
Have you been able to tell anyone in Benue about period poverty? What's their impression? What's their view or opinion?
Okay, I told a number of ladies, and what I explained to them, how I learned from here, they were very impressed. They said they are waiting, they can't wait for us to implement the pad making. I would make pad, the handmade pad. Yes.
That's brilliant.
They are very
Fantastic.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Musa, so you've had network problems, you've just arrived, and then you've just beautifully summed up exactly what we need to be doing, which is, if we start getting these people want to make pads, so that's perfect. So what you said was perfect timing. So thank you for that. That's amazing.
Okay, thank you.
So, and who have we got left? Is there anybody else that would like to say anything? I'm going round. Have we heard from Vicky? Vicky, is that you? And you've gone indoors? Vicky's gone from a very noisy environment into being indoors, I think. But, or was that Faith? I can't remember now. But yeah. Okay. So Umata, are you happy for us to bring it to a close? Would you like to sum up, and then I'll ask Nukoyu to say some final words?
So far, so good. We all seem to be on the same page. So like I earlier requested, if we can have some samples and we learn how to make it. We, like Grace, the lady who said she was using some, I think she did say that there wasn't any leak-proof device, so you could get stained easily. So when we begin to experiment by using it ourselves, then we should be able to improvise. We should be able to, improve on the reusable part. The what do I call it? The handmade now, or
handmade?
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it's thinking about two things. First of all, it's the pad itself. Yeah. And then what it tends to have is it has something that flaps open, that you put something inside that does all of the absorption. So that's the thing that maybe you might dispose of, or the thing that needs to be cleaned more, and then there's something that holds it as well. Okay, so at the moment it's not just one thing that you use, it's almost the thing that's super absorbent that's actually in the pad itself. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll make sure that when we share via email, send over to you the patterns and stuff like that, that it's got the various elements that are part of it. And then when we send you some samples, I'll try to get as many different samples as possible for you to be able to experiment with alongside the patterns to be able to make. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so Nkoyi, would you like to just sort of sum up from your perspective?
Yes, it's good. The review section was very interesting. And so now we're looking forward to getting samples of that and then move to the implementation phase. And for the, apart from that, it had layers on. We should also know that time of use for sanitary towels is also supposed to be considered, unlike the always that most women use because of the gel in it. Some people tend to use it. Imagine a lady that goes to work and she puts on her pad by 8 a.m. And I bet you she will not change that pad until she comes back by 5 p.m., which is very wrong. We are supposed to have changed the pad because the fumes in it goes back into your body, which is not healthy, you know. So if we're going to use the cloth pad, we should also consider time of use. All this we'll talk about it when we get to the implementation phase. So we'll leave that for the implementation phase. And so for now, we'll be glad if our groundwork continues, which is a good deal already. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, listen, everybody, lovely to hear and see many of you. Great to hear that you're having conversations and you're doing things, and it's very humbling for me to be able to be here speaking to you today. And thank you for being very honest and open. And I look forward to us being able to get those things out to you as soon as we can in early 2024, and we start to make some progress. But all I can do is assure you of our commitment to work alongside you on this issue, and bring as many resources as we possibly can to bear. And again, as I said to the people yesterday, that also involves at some point coming out to see you and sort of, supporting and helping, whether it's some training, whether it's a conference, whether it's something that you want to do where you bring professionals together and we can bring some people with us. Certainly Nkoyi and I and our colleague Philomena and my partner Tina are very committed to being able to work alongside you on this subject. So thank you very much. And I hope you wish all the best to you and your families, and stay safe, and hopefully see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nkoyo.
Pastor T, the correction will be done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, her correction, right?
Thank you, sir.
Correction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank